You know, you might have read an interesting story in the Battle Creek Shopper. I did, and so that made me want to find out more about it as it relates to Habitat for Humanity, a Habitat home that had a little something happen to it, and it led to some, shall we say, shots in the arm for Habitat for Humanity in Battle Creek, and we'll find out about that right now. Beverly Kelly is here, Executive Director of Habitat here in Battle Creek, along with Helen Guzzo, Battle Creek Community Development Specialist with the city, here to talk to us a little about that. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you for the time today. I was reading about this house, and it was kind of sad what happened to it, Beverly, and it turns out, though, one thing leads to another, and maybe this is going to turn some things around in favor for Habitat for Humanity, isn't it?
Yes. The home burned in November of 2014. We had built it in 2009. Oh. And the homeowner, of course, there was insurance money, but this really could not do the repairs. And so she sold the home back to us. And so then we, last fall, winterized it so it could make it through the winter without any more damage.
Right.
And then we applied to become a CHODO, which is a community housing development organization. I always take my time, make sure I do it right.
Right.
And that allows us to access some federal funds through the city of Battle Creek. Our CHODO is through the city. And so we applied and got funds to help restore this house. So we are once again redoing the house and making it available for a low-income family.
So let's start at the beginning here. I'm sure most people know what Habitat does, but let's talk about how these things happen.
We build homes for low to moderate income families. They have to meet the standards. During the time that we are working on a home, they have to do 500 hours of sweat equity, which they can do some of them in the restore, but most of it's the family does 500 hours of sweat equity, so they have real ownership in the home. During that time, we also do financial literacy and really help them learn how to take care of a home and how to budget and be able to afford a home, because they're first-time homeowners. And we don't do new home builds. We used to, but we have so many homes in Battle Creek with really good bones that we keep the integrity of the neighborhood, and we do total gut rehab, where that we go right down to the studs, so everything inside that home is brand new.
So it's almost new. I mean, really.
Yes.
Talk about it. There's not much that's old once you get done with that.
No, there really isn't.
Yeah. When we come back in a minute, we'll talk a little bit about what community development at the city of Battle Creek is like, and then talk about, say that again now?
Community Development Housing Organization.
That's it. We'll talk about what that means coming up in just a minute on WBCK. WBCK, we're talking about Habitat for Humanity this half hour. Beverly Kelly's here, Executive Director with Habitat here in Battle Creek. And Helen Guzzo is here, the Battle Creek Community Development Specialist at the city. Let's talk about what that means. Battle Creek has a unit that focuses on community development. What does that mean, Helen?
We're a division within the Community Services Department that does code compliance and inspections and zoning planning. And we administer federal funding, the Community Development Block Grant, and then the Home Investment Partnership Program. And this CHODO is a part of the Home Investment Partnership Program. The city gets about $219,000 to do low-income housing development. And last year we funded the land bank to renovate 253 North McKinley, which is currently on the market. And we also funded Southwest Michigan Community Development Corporation to rehab 9496 Harvard as rental rehab. And we also have worked with other homes with the neighborhood stabilization program to bring. Instead, we were trying to get more federal dollars and state dollars to demolish some of our homes, because we have a large number of vacant homes in Battle Creek.
Right.
But some of those homes with better bones that aren't in such bad shape, bringing them up and reselling them and reusing them instead of tearing them all down is what we're looking to do with these limited federal funds. And it's really exciting that Habitat for Humanity was able to become a CHODO. They added low-income people that lived in low-income areas or were low-income to their board to qualify as a CHODO, as a Community Development Housing Corporation. So they're doing nonprofit housing development really doing a great job getting volunteers and contributed materials to lower the cost of rehabbing those homes.
That's incredible. By the way, that $200,000, as you said, is federal money. Does the city have to apply for that every year?
We do. There's
Yeah.
a whole process. It's a formula grant program, but we do the consolidated plan every 5 years, and we do an annual action plan every year to apply for it, and then we report every fall. We just finished the CAPER, which is our annual report to HUD. So that's what community development does, is we manage that federal funds for the city of Battle Creek, and we're really excited about Habitat adding board members and applying to be a community housing development organization so that they can use home funds to increase their capacity to renovate homes to help people who need new homes to get their first opportunity for home ownership.
Right. So how did you become aware of this, Beverly? Was this community development connection how you learned about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, the city approached us some time ago, and we started working on it, and then they approached me right after the first of the year, and we became serious about it and found wonderful new board members. It really was, it has really helped our board to have the different people on. We represent the community
Sure.
more now than what we used to. And so they approached us, and it was kind of a scary process trying to think of doing federal grants and all, but it worked out okay.
Funny how that happens. Sometimes the universe challenges our fears a little bit, and it
Yes.
turns out okay. So this particular house that's an example is obviously not the only one. The one that burned is obviously not the only one that can be helped by this.
No, this week we will find out if we were awarded another grant to do another house in Battle Creek. And then we started just last Friday conversation about applying for CHODO funds through MISHDA, which is through the state, which then can be used in Calhoun County because we do serve Calhoun County, which would allow us funding for another home.
Okay. So this adds to your workload then, obviously. So these
Yes.
considerations have to be taken into account too, right?
Yes, and the office staff is really on ball with this. They're kind of excited,
Sure.
and it is a lot of record keeping and things, and makes some extra work. But I haven't seen no one has said anything but positive things about it. The staff, the construction manager, and our finance person and all are really excited about the possibilities that we can do what we are called to do.
We're talking about Habitat for Humanity this hour. We'll come back in a moment and talk a little bit more. Certainly, when we come back on the other side of this break, we'll talk about the whole notion of choosing houses that you're going to rehab. We've talked with the land bank folks and the treasurer many times about those properties that are blighted in the area. And obviously, you have a role in all of this and trying to save some of those. So we'll discuss that coming up in just a few minutes. We're talking about Habitat for Humanity. Beverly Kelly is the executive director here in Battle Creek, and Helen Guzzo's here too, a community development specialist with the city of Battle Creek. So this connection worked out well. You surmised it would. Obviously, the city can get this federal money, but somebody has to carry the ball after that, right?
We use sub-recipients to spend the money to create new housing opportunities for low-income and moderate-income people in Battle Creek.
How do you look at the future potential for these funds? I mean, everybody talks about scaling back and the difficulty of getting money like this. Is this a struggle every year that you have to go
Well,
through?
the funding has been cut in half in the last 10 years. So we used to get a lot more. Our production to increase more units used to be much greater. So that's the great thing about Habitat is that they use volunteers and contributed materials. It's like a beehive at 438 West Jackson. When you go there, there's volunteers on ladders. It's just a lot of people giving of their time in our community to create affordable housing for folks in need.
Right.
And it's a great opportunity to use federal money to give to Habitat so that they can really use their model to create greater value.
And this West Jackson address that Helen's referring to is this house that was built by Habitat, sold, and then it caught fire at some point.
Yes.
What a heartbreaking thing, as you well know,
Yes.
how that can be. And you were able to get this house back and give it new life.
Yeah, we're really excited. We feel a lot of personal ownership in the homes that
Yeah.
we've done in town.
Sure.
And so we were really honored that we're the ones who are able to fix it up for another family.
Yeah.
Right.
You probably drive around town and say, there's one, there's one, there's one.
Yes.
Right, you've done
Yeah.
100 and over the last 10.
Yeah, I think it's around 120 now.
Oh, my gosh. So how do you get the help to do the work? You probably have some folks who are ready to step up, but you've got to figure all that out.
We have a group of regular volunteers who come every week just faithfully. Some of them come one day a week, some come two, and they are our core people. But we get so many people who come in that really, and we get groups like businesses will come for a day, and yeah, it's a good team building thing for employees, for a group of employees to come and do. The community is very good to us. We have wonderful volunteers.
Are you looking for more?
We can always use more. And for people who are not able to do manual labor, we really need volunteers in the restore. Because things are donated, they need to be cleaned up, they need to be organized out in the store, that we always have a need for volunteers in the restore.
What a great idea. We haven't even talked about that, but the restore is one in which if you have materials that can be reused,
Yes.
donating them to Habitat and have them show up in the restore to be sold is a great way to pump up the budget at the Habitat.
Yes, and if people have appliances that still work and, slightly used furniture, big items, we'll even go pick them up. We have a truck and we'll go pick them up if they call. Yes.
Before you're gone, we'll talk a little bit about how folks get in touch with you. So if somebody's listening to that,
Thank you.
they can call you right away and have that happen. So what, Helen, is the plan then as this continues? You have to apply for this federal money every year.
We just
presume
put an RFP for another home. So we're planning to do at least 1 to 3 homes per year, renovating them, and it's a good way to not have to demolish all of our. We have about 900 vacant homes in Battle Creek, and those are depressing our home values,
Sure.
and they make neighborhoods feel unsafe. But then there's the other question of once you tear it home down, the land bank struggles with this all the time. What do you do with all the vacant property?
Right.
So saving the ones we can by using Habitat it's a great partnership that strengthens our community.
And when they're trying to figure out which ones can be saved, you probably have a hand in that, Beverly, trying to figure out what is cost effective to save.
Yeah, we have a regular properties committee that when we are considering a home, the whole committee goes and looks at it to see if it is a home that we can make into a good home for one of our families.
Mm-hmm. And somebody might be listening who says, I want to be one of those families. What do they have to do?
We have orientation meetings, and if they call the office at 269-966-2502, then they can, we'll send them an invite when we're ready to do an orientation meeting, and we make sure they meet the requirements as a regular application process.
Okay. And if someone wants to donate to the Restore, is that the same number?
No, they can call there, but the Restore number is 269-441-1038.
Okay. So if you have a appliance or a household item that could be reused,
Yes.
this is a great way to do this and not throw it in the landfill. Man.
It's a great way to promote affordable housing because folks that need to fix up their homes or need new appliances but don't have the resources to maybe buy new can go to the Restore. So it's another way that Habitat promotes affordable housing for people.
Mm-hmm. I have 2 examples of that. I replaced a dishwasher a few years ago. The old one went to Habitat. Just like you said, call them up. They're in your neighborhood on a certain day. They'll come and get it. And another thing I did, I changed electrical plugs. Now, the old ones worked. I just wanted new, different color, so I took them all out, but I gave them to Habitat, and that's something good too. And that's not a huge thing, but sometimes people are looking for that.
People come in looking for those. They really do. And a lot of people come in looking for toilets.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you replace your commode,
if you
bring
replace
your old
your
ones
toilet,
and
Yeah.
bring Habitat.
Why not?
Yeah.
Just because you're taking it out doesn't mean it's not usable somewhere else.
That's right. Yeah.
So even if it's blue or gold, you'll take it?
That's right. They do. Yes.
I saw a purple one on HGTV not long ago. Maybe that would be a fashion statement for
We
somebody.
just sold a green one, a bright green one.
Oh, my.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Maybe those are easier to keep clean. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Habitat for Humanity, 966-2502 is the number if you'd like to learn more about becoming a Habitat homeowner or maybe volunteering. That's the number. Congratulations on this connection. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
All right. We'll stay in
you.
touch. Thanks to the both of you.